What up, what up? This is your girl, Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live. Hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend. This is episode 234 of my show. So very excited to welcome my next guest back to the show, the one, the only singer-songwriter guitarist, Chris Shupe. So Chris was actually on the show, episode 199, which was July 2023. So it's almost been a year since Chris and I have last chatted. He has so many incredible things to talk about, and I'm so very excited to bring him back on the show. So Chris has had a career spanning over a decade in rock music, and he now embraces country's heartfelt lyrics and authentic sound. Chris was featured on the Access TV show Banded and released his single, There You Go Again, in May. Chris is in the house. He's ready to rock, and let's welcome him onto the stage. Chris!
How you doing?
Doing well, Chris. How's everything?
Very good, very good.
Awesome. So this is your second time on my show. It's been almost a year, which I can't even believe it. I feel like time flies, you know?
It feels like 6 months ago.
I know. I feel like the older we get, the faster time goes, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Big time.
Definitely. So how's everything going with you?
Oh, it's good. I'm working on my solo career as I was, well, once I figured out the show wasn't going to do anything, I decided to move forward with my solo career, and I've been doing that and enjoying that, and things have been going really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And yes, the show that you're talking about, Banded. So it's been about a year since Banded officially aired on Access TV. So looking back on that experience, what did you enjoy most about your time on that show?
I think that the best part about the show, it was a great experience, but the people that I met on the show is probably the best part about it. I stay in contact with a lot of people on the show right now. We have a group chat still that we all talk in. You know, a couple of my bandmates, Joey and Santiago, I talk to them. I talk to Santiago almost every day.
Nice.
Talk to Leo a little bit, and you know, Andrew, Billy, Alicia, like all them, and JoJo, and we're all still in contact. You know, so it's really cool. And I think we will be forever. I mean, it seemed like it flew by fast, but we were in that house for a long time. We spent a lot of time together, and we did a lot of things together. And regardless of what happens, we'll always be friends.
Yeah. And I feel like when you're in an experience with people like that, I think the best way for someone outside of the music or creative industry, the best way for us to describe it to them would be like going to summer camp. Like when you went to summer camp that 1 year and you had that shared experience, that's exactly what it's like being on a show like Banded, being on a music competition show, because nobody outside of that show understands. Like you have this formed bond and you're like, we all had this experience together. We were all part of a band. We were all competing. We were all learning from each other.
Yeah. Family. We became family.
Yeah.
It was just a really good time, and I was sad to leave, to be honest, and I would do it all over again. I mean, it was a great experience. It was just really, those times, you know, like, you know, in normal day life, like everybody's busy, like people have jobs or they have other things, family, kids or whatever, and they have so much going on. You don't really have that much time to put towards music. And, you know, you carve out a certain time of the day to write some songs or go to band practice or play shows or whatnot. But like on the show, it was like they allowed you, you know, they were paying you, they were giving you like the environment to play music 24/7. So that was something that you don't get to experience, like, unless you're living with mom and dad, you know, like, or something like that. Even then, you still got chores. But like in this, there was like, they encourage you to play music all day long, write all day. So like, that was something that I haven't got to experience, like in my life. So like, it kind of brought this new side of me that I never knew about. I felt like I was way more creative, and I was seeing myself do a lot of things that I didn't know I was capable of. And I think it's because I had so much time and I didn't really have anything to worry about. You know, it was wake up, write songs, play music, play shows, and then go get filmed on TV. You know, that's pretty much it. That was my day. That's what it consisted of. But that's something I miss a lot. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, because you think of a typical day now and you have responsibilities and things you need to do. But when you're completely immersed in music from the time you wake up, like I feel like everybody's on a different schedule as well. So like I feel like there's always music being played in the house and there's always creative ideas forming. Plus it's not like you're living with random people. You're living with musicians, so you can all learn from each other, and it's just like constant energy and adrenaline going.
Yeah, it was really awesome, but it's over now, unfortunately. But
back to real life, right?
Yeah, there is supposed to be a season 2, and hopefully it'll do a lot better. But you know, with the MTV and the Access TV thing, it is what it is. But I don't really go into details about that. But it didn't do as good as they wanted. But then maybe season 2 will be really good, and I'm looking forward to it. And I've talked to some producers, and hopefully I'll make an appearance on season 2, and maybe we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but I'm glad that you were able to have that experience, especially being the very first season of a brand new show, right? Because it's not like a show like American Idol or The Voice where we're 20 to 25 seasons in. This is like a fish out of the water. We're going to throw you into the situation. We don't really know what we're doing, but we're just going to figure it out as we go. And I think, that's a big risk to take too. And I'm glad that you were, part of that and were able to experience just the freshness of everything, right?
Yeah, I was definitely a guinea pig.
So, massive congrats on the new single, There You Go Again.
Thank you.
That dropped last month. So, talk to me about the inspiration behind this project.
I think, I wrote this song with Caleb Mills and Ethan Wynn. There's some songwriters in Nashville, and they're from Alabama and stuff. But, you go to Nashville every day, and you sit down to write with songwriters, and like, who am I writing with today? It's always somebody new, and it's almost like speed dating. You're like, I don't really know these people, which these guys I knew pretty well. I've wrote with them before, so we've written some good songs. But usually when you go sit down and write with new people, it's like you're speed dating, and you don't really know if it's going to go good. And you go in there, and it's like, what topic we're going to write about today? But this particular song, I already had this kind of up my sleeve because I felt like I wanted to write a song about like a toxic relationship, because I feel like we've all been through that.
Yeah.
There's always that one guy or girl, whichever one you are, that you can't get away from. You want to get out of the relationship, but they keep coming back and then just keep bringing you back in, but they're just like sucking the life out of you. And I feel like I wanted to write a song about that. I feel like it'd be really relatable for a lot of people. So, me, Caleb, and Ethan wrote that song, and it's about just not really. I mean, I guess I've been there before. We've all been there. So, but that's what it's about. Toxic relationships.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we've all been there before. And if you're watching this, you've never been in a toxic relationship. What planet are you on? Because we've all been there. we keep getting drawn back in to this crazy relationship. And just the push and the pull and the toxicity, and it's not good, but it makes for a great song and that a lot of people can identify with.
Thank you. And it was really special because, I built this studio that I'm in right now, and it was my first time to try it out. And I remember, Billy from the TV show, he's a producer, and I reached out to him and I was like, hey, Billy, and I reached out to a lot of people. It's like, I might need you to take this song, man, and just kind of finish it off for me. I don't know if I can produce it myself and mix and master and do everything. I spent a lot of time at the studio in my past in my rock band, so I kind of knew how to track. But when you get into like mixing and mastering and engineering, it's like really crazy. So like I took out like 2 or 3 months of my life and just like basically went back to college and started like teaching myself how to produce and mix and master. And I went back to the book and I learned a lot of things, and I decided just to give it a shot myself. So I'm gonna do it myself. I feel like I appreciate it more. So I played all the instruments on the track, and I mixed and mastered it all by myself. And that was, I really appreciate the song for that. I know there's probably some people out there, like, I'm sure if like Sony heard it, they'd be like, we hear some things that we probably could change, but like, it was my first time mixing and mastering. I think I did a pretty good job on it. So
yeah, very powerful. I love that you took that initiative to just be like, I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to do it all myself, because I do talk to a lot of artists. I feel like COVID did that to a lot of people. A lot of people that couldn't get in the studio with the main people were like, I'm in my house. So I just like literally taught myself all these different programs. I didn't know what I was doing. Right.
Yeah.
And you're just like, does this work? Does that work? Did I press the right button? But no one's really there to say you did the wrong thing. So you just kind of play around with something until you feel comfortable with it.
Right.
And then, I mean, and now you look at it and you're like, that was all me. Like, I didn't give it to two other dudes. Like, this is 100% me.
Right. Yeah, it was really hard, and I did it. I think the more I do, the better I'll get. I think I'll probably just do my own songs from here on out, now that I have everything I need. So I definitely am in the studio doing more music, so I have more stuff coming, and I'm excited to put it out. There was a song on the TV show on Bandit that I co-wrote on. It was called Kiss Away. I don't know if you remember that song, but I reached out to the producers and I was like, you guys, I really want to put this song out. Like, I like it a lot. I think it resonates with me a lot. So I reached out to Dave Pahanish, which I've been writing with him as well.
Nice.
So that's another person I've stayed in contact with. I've been writing with Dave, and I talked to Dave and I was like, hey man, what do you think about me putting the song out? Like, I know it's a duet, but like, I think I want to sing it from like the guy's point of view and just like, make it like a love song. Like, maybe take out the other person in the song and me just like put it out on my own, and maybe me singing the second verse as I'm singing to the girl, and then put it out as Chris Shupe, instead of Honeysuckle Rose, because I feel like it's I just hate for it to go to waste. It's a good song.
Of course.
So, I think I'm gonna put the song out. I've got approval to do so, and I'll probably be doing that song as well soon.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing news.
Yeah,
that's great, right? Because the thing is, when you were making these songs and you felt that connection, and I know what you mean, you're just like, oh, but that was a good song. Like, let me put my own take on it and do it my way. Because when you're on the show with multiple people and multiple ideas, and it may have not gone the way that you originally anticipated, because it wasn't just a Chris project. It was like, there were like 8 people involved.
Yeah. So it was definitely influence. And I think I want to keep the musicians on the track and give them credit for it, obviously, and just go from there. But I think we all put like a lot. We were all putting as much as we could into each of those songs, and they're all so good. Like, even every band on the show, because we were all trying to win, and trying to get a major record deal. So it's just a lot of work and a lot of good music that it's just not going to get released, and it sucks. So like, I want to try to put some of that out, maybe.
Yeah, I love that, bringing it to life, right? Because why let those songs go to waste when you could just say like, hey, I love that song. Let me just make sure the producers are going to give me the A-OK on it, and then I'll just do it my way. Because at that point, it works. Like, because then you revamp the song and bring it new life.
Right.
Yeah. Very cool. So, okay. So you go in the studio, you're mixing, you're mastering, you're playing all the instruments, you're writing. Talk to me about writing this song, as well as any challenges or memorable moments from it.
As far as writing, There You Go Again?
Yeah.
Well, I think I already had, I come out here once or twice a day usually, and like, it could be just like today, like I've probably wrote like melodies in my head already, so I jot them down, and I usually like I may even wake up in the middle of the night and I have a song in my head, so like I grab my phone and I hit the memo button, and I may like hum what I'm hearing in my head, or it might be just a lyric, like a punchline, And I'm like, I got to jot that down before I forget it. But that's kind of how that song came to me, the chorus of that song, and it popped in my head, one of those things, and kind of just like a crossword puzzle. Just after I did that, I went back to it and gave it another listen, and I started piecing the whole song together. And then it was more so like a rock song because I have so much rock. That's another thing I want to talk about too. Like I have such a hard problem with like battling rock music and country music in my head because I grew up listening to country. Like my dad always had it on the radio growing up, and I was listening to Merle Haggard and Johnny Cash and all those good country artists that I love them. But then I also went down the rock path, and like I used to idolize like Sevendust and Shinedown, and then I ended up playing shows with those guys, and like it was really cool, like doing all that. But so I still have so much of rock and country in me, and I think what Nashville has helped out with me is it's like it brings out the country in me. So usually when I can write a million rock songs, but when I have a hard time writing country because like I don't know, it's just maybe because I did rock for so long, like rock just pops in my head the rock way.
Yeah,
they're two different types of writing, so it's really hard to compare them. But my buddy Caleb Mills, he's a stone cold country artist. He's really good, and Ethan. And I was like, hey, I need you guys. I got this tune I'm working on, and it kind of came to that way. I was like, it's really catchy, but like it's just not country enough. It's like a rock song, and I love it. I don't really want to pitch it to a rock artist. I want to put it out myself. Mm-hmm. So I was like, help me make it country. Like help me make it more country. So like they jumped on the track, and we got the verses more countryfied, I guess you could say. But that's pretty much how we tackled that song.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I do see a lot of similarities between rock and country music, right? When you listen to an artist like Chris Stapleton, for instance, right? One of the greatest to do it. You hear rock music, but you hear country. And I think it's important to do that because that's your background, right? That's what you love. I'm also a massive Sevendust fan. No one does it like Lejean and his crew. I mean, as far as touring constantly and the music that they're writing, an amazing band, guys. If you're not familiar with Sevendust, please, guys, check them out. They are one of the best rock bands in the past 20 to 30 years. Like, right, Chris? Tell the people why you listen to Sevendust.
Oh, it's an amazing show, and the best part about it was like being young and growing up, listening to all their albums, and then finding myself like opening for them on stage, and like it was just like, how did I get here, kind of thing, but and they're just amazing dudes, even in person. Like it's just great guys all around. Yeah,
definitely. But I like what you said about how you're writing rock and you kind of need someone to kind of fine tune it and just make it a little bit more country.
Yeah, and I think now, I think I struggled with that in the beginning when I first came to Nashville, like. Because obviously I could play all these country songs because I've heard them growing up and I know them, and I am country. Like most days I'm like yesterday I was out in the garden doing stuff. Like I have a farm up here, like we do stuff, and I do drive a tractor. I do this. I do country things. So I am country. Like it's like I live on the mountain, for God's sakes. I'm up in the woods right now. This is where I'm at. Like I'm on Sand Mountain right now. But so I am country, but now I don't really struggle so much with it because I feel like I'm starting to tap into that country part of me and figuring out how to combine it. Kind of like you said, the Stapleton. You can hear the country roots in it, and rock roots. You can hear a little bit of both, and I think I'm okay with doing that because this music I enjoy and it's what comes out of me, and I'm not really trying to play towards any genre. Just play what comes out,
Yeah, and I think it's important as an artist. I think sometimes when people try to pigeonhole rock, alternative, you know what I mean? When they try to pigeonhole you in a space, country, whatever it might be, it's like, no, but you're going to do ultimately what you want to do. Like, think of Beyonce. Who would have thought Beyonce would have put out a country album?
Yeah.
No one saw that coming. And then she's in a cowboy hat and it did really well for her. Like, it's a big deal.
Post Malone, like, It's just
Yeah.
great music. It's just really, really good. And I think that's how you do it. You just be true to yourself. And like, I think I'm starting to realize that you just got to do that. And like the most authentic fans will come about, and, you know, you'll enjoy what you're doing in the long run, whether you make it or don't, or whatever happens. And, you know, you're doing what you love to do, and you're not playing something you don't want, that you don't like or enjoy, you know?
Yeah. You need to walk your authentic path, and
Yeah.
whatever comes out of you, like that's what it is. And you're right. The right people will follow you and will gravitate towards who you are as a musician in person. And maybe some of the songs are a little rock, and then they're a little rock and country. Maybe they're very country, right? But it's kind of just, it makes it more exciting for your fans to follow you on that journey.
Totally agree.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about being in Nashville and establishing a presence. Can you talk about how Nashville has influenced your music?
I think Nashville, Nashville's really tricky because it's it's changing so much.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I first came there, like I thought that, you know, growing up, my dad would take me to Broadway, to Tootsie's, and he's like, son, if you ever play Tootsie's, like, you're doing something, you know, you're doing something.
Mm-hmm.
That's where all the legends used to play. So like you know, I wasn't even old enough to drink yet, and I was like, man, I gotta get up here one day. But I started doing the rock music, and, you know, after the pandemic, I came back to that, and I was thinking like, I think the first thing I told myself was like, I gotta get in Tootsie's. Like if I can get in Tootsie's, I'm doing something, you know, because I'm starting here fresh. And obviously, like I played there the second day I was there. Like I played on the street the first day, and then next thing you know, I'm playing in Tootsie's the next day. I'm like, damn, I'm doing something, yeah. And then I realized, like, I'm not doing nothing. This is not even close to what Nashville's about. After like 6 months of that, I started realizing, like, this is like where tourists go. This is like bachelorette city. This is like a circus, you know. Like, I don't need to be here. People are telling me, like, if you want to do something music, you know. Actually, I remember the first time. I don't know if you know Hannah Dasher.
I'm sorry, who?
I don't know if you know Hannah Dasher.
I don't.
She's a pretty big country artist, and she's big on TikTok. Well, I ended up meeting her. I was hanging out with John Party.
Mm-hmm.
I just played a show downtown, and I was hanging out with her. We ended up going to lunch at Chewy's. I remember the day, and I was asking her. I was like, hey, tell me. She's like, tell me like the do's and don'ts. Like, you don't do this, you know, and don't do that. And she's like, if you ever want to like make it music, you need to get the hell out of Broadway. Like, you're not going to do nothing there. You need to get over to Midtown. That's where it's at, you know.
Mm.
Start playing some writers rounds, like, you know, do stuff like that. You're not going to do nothing playing Broadway. So I took her advice, and I just started going, you know, trying to get in all these writers rounds, and that's what I've been doing ever since. And when I started doing that, things started happening. Even the Bandit show, like all that happened. I was playing, and somebody saw me and wanted me to come on the show, and like all just like stuff like that. Like, you meet so many people and so many things in Midtown. So that's influenced my life tremendously. But it's also made me feel like there's a lot of competitive people in Nashville, and it's like it's really off-putting. It really is, if you don't take it the right way, because like you think people are your friend, but then you realize that people are only wanting to talk to you because they think that you're going to help them get something. And if you can't be at a certain like part of your career, like if you're not there and they can't gain something, then they're just they're on to someone else, you know. Mm-hmm. That's how 90% of people are in Nashville. I do have some really good friends in Nashville that I talk to every day, or at least once or twice a week, and we don't talk about music stuff. We hang out, we go out to eat, we do stuff, and mm-hmm. I know they're truly friends, and you know, it's not about like, hey, can you get me on this tour? Can you get me on this show? That kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't ask things from them, because that's the thing, you don't ask for things. But I think it's definitely made me have thick skin. Nashville's definitely made me, because the rock world wasn't like that. It was like you had a band and you just played shows, and it was about, maybe the times have changed, I don't really know, but it was about the music then. It was about how good you are, and that was it. Like, you know, you were good, the fans came. Then you eventually worked your way up, and you were opening for big bands, and you were touring. But it's different with country. It's totally different. There's so many people. There's millions of people that are trying to do the same thing. So it kind of makes you, I don't know, definitely influences you in a good and bad way. But
yeah,
I think that's what you're asking me, how Nashville affects me. But
yeah.
I think I answered that question, didn't I?
Yeah, and I appreciate you being honest with me about that because, right, so many people move to Nashville to make it. So many talented people. And it sucks to really hear that so many people like only talk to other people if they can, oh, can you hook me up with this person? Or I want a song right here. And then it just, that's unfortunately a hard reality of the music industry because so many people are trying to use people. But I'm glad that you found genuine friends that you can count on and talk to them about outside music stuff because right, the music industry is only part of your life. You have an outside life as well, and sometimes when you go through random things you need someone to talk to, and it's important to have those people that ride and die for you.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that you have to remember, because I think in the beginning I went to Nashville and I literally sacrificed everything. I almost lost a lot of things, like going there, just putting my whole body, mind, everything into music and hoping for something. And, it doesn't work that. It's a 10-year town. It's a 10-year town, and you gotta wait your turn. If you try to jump in front of somebody, it's not going to happen unless you go viral. You know what I mean? So you got to be patient. And I think, I can't tell you how many times I've went home with my tail tucked between my legs, just thinking like I'm done. I'm not going to go back to Nashville. I'm so tired of this. I'm tired of just going here fighting with all these people to trying to do the same thing. Like you can't get in with these people that you want to get in with. But I think moving away from Nashville, I don't live in Nashville right now, so that's obviously great. I leave there. I got to do my own thing. I spend time with my friends and family in a whole different area, and then I go to Nashville for music, and I think that's made my life a lot better. I like it like that. Like I'm going to Nashville this week. I got a show this week and some songwriting, and I get there, I do my business, and I leave. I don't really just hang out. I don't go out drinking anymore, really, because that just doesn't do anything. That's what a lot of people do. They just go out and get drunk every night after they songwrite. That's what country artists do. And they write about how they got drunk, or they they drove their truck down the road. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah. But I think it's important, and I like what you said about like going to Nashville, but then leaving, right? And having your own peace and quiet and time to think. Because I think when you're completely immersed in Nashville and you're around that, and you're like, do I have friends? Is everyone out to get me? Like, I'm a perfectionist. Am I good? Should I be doing this? I've been here 5 years. I can only imagine what that inner dialogue is like, right? And you're like, oh my gosh, I've been standing out here for 3 hours. Like, does anyone care? Is anyone going to see me? Like, is it oversaturated? Like I'm just putting myself in your shoes and being like, oh my gosh, like some days is good and some days is bad, but then sometimes I'm like, just would I want to give up?
Yeah. It does it to you. It really does. But I'm happy where I'm at now. It's a good spot to be at. I don't have to. I feel like I know enough people there where if I need to do something, I can contact somebody, and I'm doing plenty of songwriting and obviously I've got some tours in the works, and things are happening, and realizing that you don't need Nashville is a great thing. Don't feel like for anybody who's watching this, don't feel like you have to have Nashville in order to get something, because you don't. A lot of things that will happen to you won't be Nashville. Maybe the people you met there, or maybe something completely different.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that. I think some people think a specific city will bring them happiness. LA, Nashville, New York. I mean, with social media, there are people in every part of this country that don't even live near a big city that are still able to gain a following just because they're sitting in their car on their lunch break singing a song.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
true.
Yeah. So you mentioned a tour. You just announced this a couple weeks ago. We got to talk about the tour in Australia. So talk to me, Chris. This is really big, exciting news.
I'm very excited to go to Australia. I've been wanting to go my entire life, and I never thought that music would take me there, but it finally is, and it's something that I've been talking to some people about having a little bit of a fan base in Australia, and never really thought I would just actually go there. You know, back when I had a rock band, we talked about going there before, but it was just like, how am I going to fly the whole band over here and pay for this? Because I remember back in the rock band, like I was footing the bill for a lot of things, and I was thinking like, there's no way I can afford to fly my whole band over here. Like, how am I going to get the shows? How's it going to work? And it just didn't seem achievable. But you know, putting out some country songs, I've had some traction over there, and obviously enough where I'm getting paid to go there. And I've been flown there, and then now I'm going to be going there for half a month to play some shows and playing this really big festival in Queensland and Early Beach. It's going to be really exciting. There's a lot of artists over there that I'm excited to meet, and I'm going to be there for half a month in November, Halloween to the 15th, I think. But looking forward to it. I'm really excited about it, and I have other shows in the work as well, and I'm working on a U.S. tour and all that stuff.
Yeah. So okay, so we were talking earlier. This is gonna be your first time playing overseas, and your first time actually going overseas. So I feel like it's even more exciting for you, right? It's just to be like, I'm doing these shows on the other side of the world, and it's wild. These people over there know my music.
Yeah, it's I can't wrap my head around it yet. It still doesn't seem real. I don't think it's gonna be real until I'm like on that 20-something hour flying up there with my music gear, thinking like I'm really doing this right now. It's just really happening.
Yeah.
I'm counting down the days. I'm excited about it.
Yeah. So okay. So what are you most excited about going overseas? Like, are there like, so I feel like the festival is probably one of the big things, but are there any other venues over there that you're like really amped to play at?
Well, I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know anyone there. I mean, I don't know any venues. I've never been. So it's like Mars to me, you know. I remember when I was growing up, I was thinking about like, if I ever want to go to a different country, I want to go to Italy.
Yeah.
I want to go to Greece. I want to go to Australia. Big, like number one. That's where I want to go. You know, I want to go. You know, but I don't know where. I just know that it's really pretty over there from what I've seen, and I'm just looking forward to it. And you know, following this festival and some other venues and stuff. There's some really big people playing there, and some really big Australian artists, and a lot of people I'm excited to meet when I go there. So I think a lot more things will happen, and I do think that it'll be a yearly thing for me. I think I'll be going there. I'll probably get tour there next year as well, and so on. And I'm working on a possible UK tour as well. I don't have the dates for that. It's kind of one of these things. You just kind of like you're working it out. You got someone over there that's like booking stuff for you and getting it all together and getting how much you're getting paid for this, how many people are going to be here, who's going to be the artist. It's kind of like that thing. It's happening right now in UK as well. And then obviously I'm working on some shows in the US as well, and putting together my forever band. I'm looking for, I have some people in mind right now, and we're about to start. You know, when you're solo, you're everybody's a hired gun. It's like it sucks because like you might show up to play a show and you might not know anybody in the band. You're like, who are these people? But they're really talented and they're good and they know their parts and they play them, and it just doesn't feel. I don't know. Maybe I'm married to having like permanent people. Maybe from being in the rock band for so long, because like those dudes were like my brothers. Like I remember we like slept in a little van when we're touring, like sleeping there, like eating double cheeseburgers together. Like, just like they were my brothers, you know what I mean? Like, it seemed like we lived together, and
Yeah.
And I'm excited to play with a few of those guys. I'm bringing some of those guys back from my Hour Late band I was in, and they're going to be playing in my band now. So it'll feel like I have some of that still, and I'm hoping that we can have a good time, and I'm hoping I can pay everybody what they want to get paid, and yeah, we'll go on. So, and hopefully tour the country.
Yeah. So do you have any other dates lined up for the year yet? Or are they just going to be announced soon?
It's like things are in the works, but I don't like have specifics. I know I'm going to be I'm working on a Florida tour. Florida. I'm going to be going back down to Key West. I have some stuff that's going down there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on some stuff in Orlando and Miami and like Tampa. So like I'm pretty sure that I'll go down to hopefully Savannah, Georgia, and work my way down the coast and down to Key West and back up through Tampa and Fort Myers and Tampa, and maybe we'll see about maybe going over towards Mississippi. I'm not really sure yet, but that's the plan for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of stay in this, this realm of the country, not like too far out west yet. Maybe first of next year, I'm thinking maybe California out west,
Mm-hmm.
and then New York shows up the area.
Yeah. Well, it's like you have so much stuff around the corner, like so much stuff that's cooking.
Yeah. And that's what I'm going to be doing until, and hopefully, fingers crossed that I can land a opening spot on a big tour and be the opener. That's what I'm shooting for.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff. I am sending you all those good vibes. Who do you want to open for? Name like a couple artists you want to open up for.
I mean, I really like Coetzel. Like that would be like. If I could just be like, who's the country rock artist? Like he's like right up my alley. Like the music that I'm writing right now, I'm putting out it would just be it would be awesome. That's who I would choose. If I could choose anybody right now, it'd be Coetzel.
Yeah, good stuff. I always believe in shooting your shot because I think when you say something, it hits different, right? Because you can think it in your mind, but when you say it, it feels different. And then if that person is watching or that person's tagged and they're like, oh, that person mentioned my name. Like, so I believe in manifestation. I believe in saying good things and speaking things out loud because you never know what the universe is going to bring to you.
You never know.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible. That's for sure.
Anything is possible. And I feel like you are ready to handle it.
I think so.
So I want to talk about mental health and the prioritizing mental health personally, professionally, on tour, in the studio, navigating Nashville. Can you talk to me a little bit about how you handle the challenges of mental health?
Well, coming from me, which I've grew up with since I was in middle school to high school, I've had severe depression and anxiety, panic attacks, and I'm still to this day taking medication for the anxiety. I don't think it's ever going to go away. I thought that maybe I would grow out of it, but I think it's something that you just have to learn to deal with. I battle with depression really, really bad. It seems like the older I get, the more I deal with it. Maybe because I'm scared of getting old. I don't want to get old. Maybe I'm just like clinging to my youth as long as I can, and afraid that I'm going to lose those, things you just can't do when you're old. I don't want to go there. I don't want to get old. I don't want to die. I don't think anybody does.
Yeah.
I think it definitely affects my music big time, and I probably should be on some medication for that, but I don't really want to take any depression medicine. It's really risky, but I deal with depression a lot, and when I'm dealing, it comes in waves. Anybody that's listening to this and has depression, they know what I'm talking about. You get like manic happy. You're really happy for a while, for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden you go right back down, and you start working. And then you're kind of just like mid, just like hanging out in that little area where you're just like everything's kind of good. It's kind of, you can deal with it, and then it's just like then you plummet, and it's like it's like the worst, and it's always at the worst time. You know, like you got an email from that one festival that said that they're full this year or something like that. And you're like, fuck. And it's just like, shit, I should just quit. You know, I should just quit everything. You start thinking all this in your head because like depression's like getting to you, and then you just got to tell yourself that you're gonna get through this, and you're gonna make it through, and things are gonna get better, and things get better. They always do, and you'll notice me personally, like I kind of just take breaks from social media, and I don't really post a lot, and it's usually when I'm just kind of feeling down, but when I'm really happy, I'm really present on social media. I'm really in it. I'm in music, and I'm writing, and doing all these things, and so it definitely affects me big time, and I have to battle that. And it's also made me write a lot of sad songs. You know, I've got 10 sad songs to one happy song. So I started telling myself, maybe I'm more sad than I'm happy. I don't know, but
yeah. Or it just flows out of you when you're sad. Right?
It does. That's what I realized.
Music is therapy. Yeah. Music is therapy, right? When you're writing and you're like in the studio doing it, you're just like, oh, this is so healthy for me.
Yeah. And you don't go get a guitar and start, like when I'm sad and I'm feeling like hurt inside or something, I get my guitar and I start writing, get my pen, I start writing what I'm feeling inside. And I'm like, someone can relate to this. They got to feel this. I feel this, you know? And it's usually good. It's emotional. And then when I'm happy, I don't go grab my guitar. I usually go do stuff like go ride my dirt bike or do something fun. Like I want to go out. I want to go out and do stuff. I don't want to sit here with a pen and write how happy I am. So it's hard for me to write that way. But I'm starting to do that, and I'm getting some more happy, upbeat songs, and I'm figuring out how to channel that. You know, I need to write more when I'm feeling happy, manic happy. So, yeah.
Interesting. Interesting what you said about when you're sad, you want to write, right? You're like getting it all out. But when you're happy, you don't want to write. You just want to go out and like in the world and do something. Yeah,
I think so. And a lot of people probably who don't play music, they might relate to that, because I think a lot of people that are depressed that don't play music, they probably find themselves sitting in the garage or sitting on the couch drinking a glass of Cabernet red wine, listening to Taylor Swift, like crying, or like, you know what I mean, or just listening to like songs from their youth. Like I can hear songs now that I hear, and like if I'm sad, like there's a song that always does it for me, Bird Pop, like Freshman. I don't know if you heard that song. Obviously you probably have, but like every time I hear that song, it takes me back to like when I was in high school, and like I was living like the moment. Like I feel like in my mind sometimes could be peak for me, you know, like I'm thinking like that was the life, you know. And I said, and I want to go get a glass of wine or a beer, and I want to think about like I'm gonna just sit here and just reminisce and think about, you know what I mean? So like I think music, I don't know, people use music for a tool, like to help them get through something, or just maybe help them, you know, live in the moment if they're sad or happy, you know. But for me, I play music when I'm sad. It helps me get through it. It makes me feel better.
Yeah, and it's your own form of therapy, and it works for you because do you feel better when you're writing and you just get that all out?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you feel a sense of like, are you nervous to put it out because it's so vulnerable?
No, not anymore. No, I think I put anything out. Now it's just like I don't want to like oversaturate. Like I could put like 3 albums out tomorrow with like sad songs, and people are like, this guy's like sad. And it's not that I'm sad. I just write when I'm sad. So I have a lot more sad material. So now I'm trying to spread it out a little bit, you know. Maybe I won't put it all out. Maybe I'll I'm working on getting a pub deal. I'll talk about that as well. So hopefully become published in Nashville, and I'll be able to get these songs to some bigger artists, and maybe they will cut them. Maybe I'll be doing a lot of songwriting for some big artists as well. So because I have a lot of material that I need to get out, and I can't put it all out. Like I said, people are like, why has this guy got 4 albums of sad songs? Yeah. So
And maybe you write the song and yeah, it's your song, but you might be like, this person would be perfect for it.
Yeah,
so the song to them.
Yeah, tailoring a song to someone. I just did that a while back. I wrote a song for Keith Urban. He doesn't know it yet, but I'm gonna pitch it to him. But I wrote one for him. And I feel like he would like the song, and I know when he hears it, he's gonna like it, and then maybe he'll put it out. And I think that's how you do that. That's how I'm gonna do it.
Keith, watch out! It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming, Keith. Get ready.
Definitely.
So, okay, Chris, when you're going through these difficult times, what advice do you have for other people that have the same issues?
Definitely go get help if you feel like you can't deal with it. Like don't go like trying to do something. So I don't feel like that. I don't feel like that bad. So I don't go get help. I try to deal with things myself. If you have some way to like deal with it. Like music works for me. It helps me get through it, and then just know that it will pass. Like it always passes for me, and depression goes away. It comes and goes. So if it'll go away just as fast as it came. Just gotta be patient, and you can still do stuff. You can do anything. Don't feel like you can't do anything. Don't crawl in a cave like I do sometimes. But and it doesn't matter how bad your anxiety is, you can overcome it, because I've overcame my anxiety. There was a time where I couldn't even ride in a car with somebody, and I never thought that I'd be singing on stage, like doing anything, opening for the people I've opened for, singing for thousands of people. I never thought I could ever do that. Back, if you asked me that when I first started having panic attacks, there's no way. I was like, I almost hung up music completely. But I overcame that, and now I can talk in front of the whole world right now, and I wouldn't. Yeah, I'd probably be nervous, but I wouldn't have a panic attack. I wouldn't. So you can overcome that.
Yeah. So guys, if you're going through something difficult, keep pushing. Be around people that love you. I actually think one of the best things to get yourself out of a funk is to go on a walk. Like
walk or run, work out. Workout does great for me.
Workout, yeah.
It gets my dopamine levels just like shot up. I'll be pumped when I leave there. I'm just feeling great, happy.
Yeah. And working out, I work out because like I work out for the physical benefits, but also for the mental benefits. And it's also that release, because sometimes I listen to podcasts when I work out. Sometimes I listen to like AC/DC when I work out. But like, I don't want anyone to talk to me when I'm working out. Like I am like in a zone, like this is my time to just get it all out. And then I'm like, oh, that is like the best way to deal with this.
Yeah, some of my friends ask me all the time. They're like, "Why don't you invite me to go work out?" And I'm like, "No offense, but like, I don't want you to come. Like, I want to hang out with you, but like at a different time. Like, I go to the gym for the mental state of mind. I put my headphones in. I listen to like some like music, like I talked about before, like nostalgic music for me, and I just like work out, and it brings me up. And the more I work out, the more happier I am, and the more optimistic I am about life and everything. So I need it. I have to have it. I don't know what I'd do without it.
Yeah. And it's a positive way to deal with it, right? Because I think a lot of people can turn to like bad things, right? Vices when they go through things, but you need to channel that in a positive way. And honestly, go to a gym, guys, if you don't already. The gym membership, and if you can't go to a gym, if you can't get the gym membership, just going to walk, even like 10 minutes a day of sunlight and just changing up the environment is so unbelievably helpful. And it just, you get out of your space. Also, I feel like I can think more when I go on a walk. Like I get ideas all the time. It's great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Well, Chris, that's all the time that we have for this evening. But before I let you go, do you have any final words for the room?
No, I think that's it. It's been a good chat with you, and I'm sure we'll catch up again in the future.
Yes.
Touch base again when and see where I'm at, see what's going on, see where you're at.
Chris, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming back on the show. Guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Chris. His new single is out. He's going to be touring in a city near you. Look out for those tour dates. He's going to be in Australia. I actually cannot wait to hear about this Australia tour. Like, I feel like you're going to have stories for days.
I hope I do. I hope I do. I'm definitely going to have some pictures and videos to be posting. So
love that.
I'll probably touch base on every day on my live feeds and just kind of update everybody on how Australia is. So anybody who wants to go there, they're going to know about Australia when I get there. I'm going to show them. So
yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to give us all the tips and tricks. You're going to be like, go to this neighborhood. This place has great dinner. This is this, like, you're going to be like on site telling, you're going to be like the little tour guide out there. It's going to be amazing.
If you want to get shark bit, you got to go right here.
Not getting in the water, not getting in the water. But I do want to know the good venues and the good spots to eat and the cool things to do. Like when I haven't been to a place, I've never been to Australia, I always like asking somebody I know, oh, hey, like, where did you go? Like, what neighborhoods did you go to? Like, what did you enjoy doing? What did you not want to do? I want to make sure like I'm doing the right thing when I go.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. I'm nervous too, though, but I'm excited.
Don't be nervous. It's all good nerves. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to touch base with you when you get back. Guys, if you don't already, please make sure to follow Chris. Chris, where can I find you?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok. Did I put the handles in there? Yeah. Chris Shupe Music.
Yeah. Spotify, Apple Music.
Apple Music. I just got on Spotify a while back, so I'm working on getting that going. But I was more of an Apple guy, and I still got obviously Apple, Amazon, anywhere you can get music, it's out there.
Yeah.
Already.
Good stuff, guys. Please, 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 to make sure to follow Chris. And guys, if you're new here, I'm Ashley Live. This is Vibin with Ashley Live, and give us both a follow. Hit that like button, and we will see you next time. Thanks so much, guys. Thank you, Chris.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.